Bang. 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 Bang.
Realized that my microphone isn't on, so that's great. Now the microphone is on. Hello. I just said some stupid shit that doesn't matter, as I always do. But then I also, before, or well after the stupid shit, I said, I kind of want to talk about Akuma. And then I said, shocker, right? It's a great funny joke, because that's all I do. But I've had people ask me about Akuma in season 4, and I decided to not do some sort of Akuma changes video because I don't know. I kind of felt stressed about it. I was working on something else. It's pretty hard to make a change video like super early, I think. For an example, lots of change videos were made about Akuma. And people said his new move, EX Demon Flip, was like complete garbage. It might still be complete garbage, but someone found out, well, I found out afterwards, that it was invul, which changes a lot about how that move. What up, Sirster? How you doing? You doing good? But yeah, that's so like it being invul obviously changes a lot about that move. So if you make your change video super early, like for an example, Super Akuma, right? He made a change video about Akuma. Maybe I should like start the game. But Super Akuma, he made a change video about Akuma in season 4. And he obviously didn't list that EX Demon Flip was invul because, or EX Fireballs from Demon Flip was invul because no one knew that yet. He also talked about down 4 getting a range buff. I'm not sure where he got the data on the range buff from, but he talked about now reaching longer because it said so in the patch notes. And I guess like he got placeboed into feeling like it also reached further. But it turns out it doesn't reach further. Like testing proves it doesn't reach further. The Tekken overlay shows it doesn't reach further. It's they kind of expanded the hitbox further back, so it's like bigger. I think even like the Japanese translation even said hitbox expanded or something like that. Something to that effect. So that's why, that's kind of, well, oh yeah. And then he talked about the down for 1 buff as well, I think. I've got Kunimitsu here. I'm going to switch to the game. We've got Kuni here, right? Who's everyone used as their dummy, right? She's the new character. You want to go to the new stage. Yada, yada, yada. But the down for 1 buff he got, right? It said decrease the distance between hit. So Super Kuma also in his change video talks about how now, I don't even know how he got that to hit. But basically, on certain hitboxes, I think, you can end up in clean hit range without moving. Yeah, like if I step a little bit here, like if you're just tiny bit off axis, you can end up like getting a clean hit, or maybe I just smash it. Yeah, but this isn't something that works for every character. It doesn't even seem to work for most smalls. Definitely, it doesn't seem to work very well versus like most male characters or big characters to me. So I think those 3 things really illustrate pretty well how, I'm not gonna say dangerous, but like how hard it is to make a proper change video like the day off. Even if you're just gonna talk, like you don't have to like make huge sweeping statements about the implication of the changes, but even just talking about the changes can be really hard. Because, well, patch notes can be weird, doesn't include stuff, can be misleading, yada yada yada. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna do that now. If this it isn't necessarily a stream talking specifically about all his changes. I guess it kinda is. But like if people want to know how I feel about Akuma's balance, I think he's probably fine. I think he's definitely weaker. Before some stuff was verified and like down 4 maybe getting a buff, which it sort of didn't. I might have said that he could have ended up being somewhat similar, but now I definitely feel like he's weaker. So that's my opinion on balance. He's fine, but probably weaker. Even in the vacuum, I would consider him to be weaker, right? But Akuma, I think, got somewhat noticeably nerfed, and most characters, or well, a lot of characters got somewhat noticeably buffed. So I think that sort of ends up being a noticeable hit to his performance. But that's not what I wanted to talk about. What I wanted to talk about was I think the changes are shit. I think Season 4 changes are super bad, basically. Basically, I think they're bad for almost everyone. Akuma's changes are bad for almost everyone on both sides of the fence. They're very minute, like specific target groups of people that I think will enjoy Akuma's changes. I'm not sure how I should structure this, but like we could start about the things I think make very little difference, where Akuma might, like where you might have had like an argument for like changing him, or well, like, how should I put this? So there are changes that they don't help Akuma at any high level thing. Like they don't introduce new ways to play the character. Like for an example, for the vast majority of matchups, this new move, like lots of people are shitting their pants about this being invo, right? Maybe I should like make it both Akuma or something. Lots of people are going apeshit about this being invo. And I think if you don't know that much about Akuma, that's fine. I think that's a totally fine perspective to have because it seems really insane. Because it seems like in the past he would have done like this shit or whatever, and you would have gone, oh well, okay, if I react to it, I get to like anti-air Akuma or whatever. And now it sounds like on paper that Bamco has introduced this thing where I used to be able to anti-air it, but now he's invul. What the fuck is that? But if you're playing, for most people at least, who are good versus Akuma, they won't be hitting into this like straight up. Not in a way where I think this becomes super useful, because it's a really large investment of meter, and it just dies to sidestep right, which is like the preferred option generally versus Akuma. And you can hit like a jab into it and he's invul and it whiffs, but it won't hit, which is like the big scary part. So like worst case scenario is you're still very much safe. But Akuma kind of like he already had things that do this similar thing. Like he has this thing, right? Which is like, oh, if they block this and try to anti-air it, he can try to catch your punish attempt. So these two things, like while standing 2 into red fireball, into like a cancel, and while standing 2 into this thing, they basically do the same thing. They lose to the same thing and they do the same thing. One of them is just a lot easier to do, I would say. The EX fireballs, right? So it doesn't help him at high level. It's not really a new option at high level, which I mean, I think that's fine. I don't think Akuma necessarily needed a bunch of new stuff, but it's kind of weird to give a character like Akuma new stuff that doesn't do stuff at high level, but it kind of drastically impacts low level. Like doing this kind of shit is really strong at low levels. Like just rinse, repeat this kind of dumb shit, because people feel like they have to hit into it, because people at low to mid levels of skill range, that's generally where you're struggling, A, with character knowledge, and B, with like having not generic responses to things. So it's pretty understandable that for someone in a low level of play, if they know Akuma at all, what they want to do is like, oh, okay, my reaction is that I want to hit into this thing. That's my that's the thing I've learned. And this new thing, this totally fucks with that. This does nothing, in my opinion at least. Debatable, of course, it's early, but to me, this does nothing to like in high level plays. This doesn't help me at all. This does nothing for me who plays a lot of Akuma and plays versus people who know Akuma. But it's totally gonna fucking wreck shop at lower levels of play. People who are already getting fucked up by this character, who don't know how it works. And it's pretty, like, the game doesn't say that it's invul. Like, if I do this move, it says invincible, right? If I do this move, the game doesn't tell me it's invincible. It just says airborne. Like, don't understand the point of changes like these. They just make the people who are frustrated with Akuma and dislike the character, it gives them less of a good time. It makes it worse. And it doesn't help me. Like, oh, I played this character for years. Would have been fun to get a new move that does something new that's interesting. It doesn't have, like, that's not good for me either. Like, so it's like, who is this for? I guess for people who just want to crush like low level people in ranked or something. Might be super is probably super fucked up in 1 or 2 specific matchups as well, which is kind of a thing with Akuma. So that's like his new move. But I think almost all his changes are in this vein, which I don't understand. I don't get it. A big thing for Akuma, which I think this is like a topic entirely unto itself almost. But oh fuck, yes, never been into this thing. A big thing for Akuma, and what I thought at least was going to be a big thing for the entire season, is that he got pretty substantial damage nerfs, which I think are fine. Like, I think if you add up the damage nerfs he got with the added 5 health bonus, he does like on average 12 to 15% less damage or something, which I think is fine. But because I don't know, I don't necessarily think Akuma did like a broken amount of damage before. This isn't a discussion about that, but I think the damage nerfs are still fine. I probably would have like found it to be better for the game if everyone got somewhat similar touch-ups. Like for an example, Akuma, like without wall, this combo, I'm not sure how much it does now. Like if you do somewhat standard route from this, which used to be like his, I keep fucking it up now. This like combo, which used to be his like big boy 15 frame 1 bar combo. Like the meterless combo from that, I think does around 77-ish. Like generally, you can do like max damage shit and it might do like 80. Which I think is fine, of course, but it is a little bit odd to me that now does 80, while someone does like, I don't know, Nina does like 80 without a wall from down for 2 on the same frame. But whatever, that's a different topic. But I don't understand why they buffed this move. I really don't get it. I think this is very similar to, like, the impact of this is very similar to this thing, right? If we begin from like the Akuma player's perspective, or maybe we could begin from the people facing Akumas, their perspective first. Okay, so something people really dislike about Akuma, right, and conceptually dislike because they can't wrap their head around it, is the concept of like rule breaking. I don't even want to say that word, but like rule breaking punishes. Like people hate this shit, right? Oh my god, 10 frame launch, what the fuck? It's so fucked up. But Akuma has, or at least had to in the past, do pretty fucking hard stuff. This cancel isn't necessarily super hard. It's a bit harder than general punishes, but that's not super hard. But to get actual good carry and good damage, you had to do pretty strict stuff. Like in the realm of like you gotta dash before every move in your combo, yada yada yada. The ender is pretty tricky. You gotta do like a dash, jump, dive kick where you gotta hit the apex of the jump. Then you gotta do a deep 4-4-2-1, which is like a just frame. But like there's like a lot of things that can happen and go wrong. And I very much doubt that the vast majority of Akuma players were doing like the optimal shit. Like the double jab, dash 4-3 combos, that kind of stuff that really makes the character like scary at like on like an objective level of what actually makes the character scary. And the same can be said for like stuff like counter hit 1-1, this shit to back 1, right? That's kind of similar. Can't believe I am fucking these up. in that they're like somewhat strict things, but they give you the best reward, right? Guess I can't do them anymore. This was nerfed as well, or well, this was nerfed. This jab combo technically wasn't nerfed by a pretty substantial amount of damage. The back one was nerfed. Demon Flip 3 was nerfed. The damage on it. And I don't think the damage nerfs are the weird part. It's this move getting buffed that's the weird part. Because now it suddenly ends up being that the super hard stuff, like for an example, this used to be super strong. His best 10 frame Punisher. This is like a 1 frame link. You do a 1 frame dash, then you can do a meter, like a unscaled combo. You dash out of the first hit of this, which you gotta buff for the cancel, and you can get up to plus 14. So it's frame perfect. You get plus 14, right? That used to be his best combo. That is no longer the case. Now this is the worst combo. The hardest combo is the worst combo damage. And the absolute easiest one that doesn't require any focus canceling, doesn't really require any very like strict shit, does the best damage. And even if you do like a baby combo, let's see if we can like, I'm probably gonna fuck up this combo even now just because I said it was a baby combo. But even if you do like a super duper easy combo, it does like a grip. Maybe it doesn't hit on Akuma. I'm not sure. He's pretty small, but like even if you just do that, that is pretty much the same damage as the really hard combo. And that exact damage I did is the same damage as this shit does now, which is insane to me. Like I don't understand it. And there's like several parts of this that really bother me. Like really bother me from some sort of game design perspective. Just the thing I said. Why is the super easy thing like better than the super hard thing or equal to the super hard thing? Like basically. It's not entirely true because this is still worse carry. But in so many situations, it's like they feel pretty much equal. And this devalues... it devalues the time people put into this character, I think. Because now you feel like your skill is less valuable, which I think sucks. Like sucks super hard. Akuma has always been in this game like this execution heavy character. But it also is problematic, I think, because I think before, like in the past, let's say because this has always existed, right? It used to do less damage, basically, was the trade-off. You do an easier thing, you do less damage. So in the past, if you got like a 1-1 counter hit, let's say you got that counter hit, you could always opt for this. It was always the case that you could do this. Let's say, whatever combo you do here. But you could opt for the harder stuff, and then you got like the reward match your effort put in, which is good. I think that's good game design. Like, and it still being good, right? Like fireball back one combos are still very good. They're still technically on paper like 1 or 2 more damage than this thing, and they're better carry. But the reward gained is like so minimal in comparison to how likely you are to drop it over this thing, which is like you can mash your head on the keyboard and hit it. You're never gonna miss that. So what this does, at least to me, is that 1-1 fireball. Yeah, you can hit confirm this. You can hit confirm any cancel here. So you can do like 1-1 into this shit or 1-1 into Porzug back 3+4 by buffering the motion and then hitting it when you see it happen. Where was I? Yeah, okay. To me, what happens is that in the past, this thing was like doing Fireball FADC. This thing outscaled the easy thing in such a way that if I dropped it, I felt like, okay, I'm gonna make the decision that I'm gonna go for the harder thing because I want to optimize my gameplay and I want to get the reward for doing the hard thing. And like, it feels good. It feels good to like have your practice pay off. It feels good to do the correct thing or whatever. But what happens now is that I'm still gonna do this because I know that it's better. And I also don't want to lose the execution of doing this thing because I still have to do it from down 3 because I can't just commit to this thing. So I'm still gonna do Fireball FADC, but now if I fuck it up, I'm not gonna feel like, oh, I did a choice here. I was left at like I'm like at this road and it has 2 paths and I decided to take the one that could lead like to way higher reward, but I fucked it up. Oh well. Better practice more. I'm gonna feel like an idiot instead. I'm gonna feel really dumb because I could have just mashed my head on the keyboard and gotten basically the same reward. Like that's the issue to me. Because you have people, I don't know, like Akisera or something in the Akuma channel who's super pumped about this. Because they just feel like, oh, now I have a much more consistent thing I can do as Akuma. I've always struggled with doing these hard things, but I still like playing the character. And I think I can obviously think that way of seeing it is super fine. Like you shouldn't feel like ashamed for liking a character or playing it in a different way than anyone else. But I think for me, Akuma has always been about these things. And a lot of what you gain, like how you get better with this character, because like this is like the Tekken meme, right? The Tekken meme is you're an idiot if you practice all these hard things because you could always be practicing anti stuff or yada yada yada. But the return for Akuma is very high for practicing, or used to be very high for practicing the hard stuff. Like you could meaningfully impact the way you play this character by practicing the really, really hard stuff. But that doesn't... So, okay, well, it still technically is the case somewhat, but it's very diminished. And because I see the character that way, these changes feel like they are trying to make the... Like, they're basically punishing me for the way I play the character. Like, both punishing me, obviously, in like that they're nerfing the things, but they're also mentally punishing me. Like they're putting me in a fucking, I don't know, like a torture chamber or whatever every time I play the character because I feel like an idiot for not doing the easy thing. Every time I miss the thing, I don't feel, oh, I should have, I don't know, I should practice more. I just feel like, oh, I should just stop doing this thing. I should just stop trying. Why am I trying? Why am I trying when I could just literally, I don't know, do this and just like, And, well, if you just jumped in, maybe you could understand that this is like not super fun. And the flip side to that, of course, for the people who play against Akuma, is that what used to be, at least, because I understand that a lot of people dislike Akuma, right? So what used to be somewhat hidden behind, like, some execution bar, I think at least, is now open to, like, everyone. And you could say that's great, right? You can think that it's great that a character is open to more players. I think that's fine. But so many people fucking hate this character, so I don't understand why you would make the thing people hate about the character more accessible to people. That just means more people are gonna like get demon flipped. Like more people who don't understand how this character works is gonna get hit by like an invul demon flip fireball into like I feel like this exact thing is gonna happen 1,000 times. I'm gonna see it like on Twitter or something like, oh, I was playing on green ranks and oh my god, is Akuma so buff now? Holy shit! See how much damage this did? And this combo is literally like throwing. I don't know. I could just toss the arcade stick in the air and it would just execute it by itself. Yeah, definitely. I think Demon Flip Fireball. This is the remake Fat official. I don't understand it. And I don't know. Maybe I should talk more to other Akuma players and see how they feel. I know there are some who feel like me, and obviously there are others who feel differently. But I don't get it. It just like I don't know. I talked a little bit to Super Akuma, and Super Akuma was like, "Well, I think he's fine, but he's definitely less interesting." And that's like the dumbest shit ever. Not that he said it, but like as a developer of a game, here's our new seasonal update. We made your character like a bit, I don't know, it's kind of maybe a bit nerfed, but still pretty good. But they kind of suck now. They're fucking boring. Like what? What is that? Make him way worse, but make him more fun. I would take that any time of the day. I guess Super Akuma wouldn't because he actually competes, but I don't think that's true, Bopper. Okay, it's obviously true now. Maybe Murray doesn't know what to do, but I think Akuma's changes have pretty much always been good because they've always tried to keep the things that people like the people who play the character. They get to keep their toys, but they try to change stuff that's like impactful. Like for not being a countered nerf, like down for getting nerfed damage wise. Like he's way worse at the approach, easier to counter hit, especially when you're not up close. I think before season 4, I think his changes have generally been pretty good. Like meter nerf impacts him a lot, but if you have the bar, if you play to get bar, you still get to do the things. Like I think these things are good. I think Geese's changes, they don't hit that. Oh yeah, I guess that's somewhat true. I mean, if you really hate dealing with down 3, like, of course, that's still gonna happen. They had damage nerfed it like several times, so I think they've tried to do it. But like nerfing meter gain and nerfing this, for an example, and this, I think pretty meaningfully changes some stuff. You're still gonna get that visceral reaction when Akuma launches your I-10 shit, right? That's still gonna happen. But I think if you play a lot versus Akuma, you definitely notice these things a lot. Because before, it was a lot of like dumb... Yeah, but I'm not only talking about power level. I think... But how many... I mean, I agree and disagree. I think some stuff absolutely true. Like, of course, they haven't deleted down 3 being an unseeable launcher. They haven't deleted 10 frame launch. They haven't like deleted EX invul or invul from non. non-EX stuff. Like, I think there's definitely some truth in that, but I think it's also a little bit like of a blanket statement to say that nothing that people dislike has changed, because all these things will pretty dramatically impact things people dislike. It's gonna make them happen less. Like, you're gonna be at the wall less. You're gonna Akuma gonna have less meter to work with. He's definitely gonna gain less meter because he doesn't get counter launches. It's way easier to hit out Akuma who's approaching you, so you don't feel like you have to only backdash Akuma in neutral all the time. Like, I do think these things have impacted the way people play versus Akuma. But of course they haven't like deleted his core set of moves. But like the thing you say here where like, oh, people haven't, or well, Bamco hasn't deleted the stuff people hate. That's the thing that makes me like scratch my head so much with season 4, is that they've added stuff to that only impacts, in my opinion, really only impacts the people who fucking hate Akuma and like just hate these like core things about the character. Like if you're like, I don't know, like green rank to whatever, I don't understand the ranks now. When are you good at this game? Like decent, whatever. Let's say like you're like a happy casual between green ranks and whatever, late reds, I don't know, season 4. In this giant span now, everyone is just gonna get fucked up by invul jump moves and every person on the planet being able to hit a big damage meter conversions now because it's so easy. And that just seems like it seems dumb as fuck to me. I don't get it. But if you do play versus Akuma a lot, these things won't matter at all, I think. Especially if you're like, you play a lot versus a really good Akuma and not like a poo brain Akuma like me. Like someone who actually A, plays a lot, that helps, but B, implements really good anti-character stuff, like correct usage of this, is really good at confirming and doing really good conversions, and like really good at mixing up their tech traps. I think tech traps at the wall are gonna be even more important in this season because of wall scaling being nerfed. But like if you play versus that kind of person, I don't think you're even gonna know this move exists or like this changed. Like that doesn't matter. And it's so odd to me. I feel like they could have done other things to make Akuma more accessible or fun to lower ranks if they wanted to do that, without making the things people fucking hate about Akuma super like beefed up. Like they've like give him like testosterone injection or something in like this very specific span of skill level. I don't know if I'm making sense here, but I just got tea in my eye. So I guess that's my thoughts on Akuma. It's pretty clear what you mean. I agree. Yeah, pretty much. I think it's gonna be interesting to see what characters end up being like actually big winners in season 4, if there ever is like a tournament scene. Because I think Akuma, how strong the character is obviously depends a lot on what characters are like meta you're seeing show up a lot in the metagame. I think Akuma probably has the like most up and down that like matchup spread in the game. Maybe rivaled by one of the bigs. Like I could see Bears having a more fucked up matchup spread, but Akuma has a pretty weird matchup spread. And a character like Ling, for an example, getting like mega buffed up, like super buffed. If you see a lot more of her, that could meaningfully impact Akuma's tournament play, because I think she does really well versus Akuma. And none of Akuma's buffs, like as we said, like impact that at all. So if Akuma gets a damage nerf and a really good match, or well, a really shitty matchup of his gets like, I don't know, Dragon installed or whatever, then that matchup should pretty meaningfully swing in a direction where he gets fucked up even more. And I think Ling is one of those that could be sort of like that. It's gonna be interesting to see if Super Akuma, because I think Super Akuma considered, I think he said that Akuma got buffed. I'm not sure if he's holding on to that thought, but that's a pretty, like, that's pretty crazy to me, especially now that you know that like Down 4 didn't get a buff. Yeah, I guess. I think that's hard to say. Tekken 4 or Tekken 7 has gone through so many meta swings. So, always hard to predict. Yeah, I guess. I feel like people are gonna play less Leroy. Maybe that's just me being like optimistic or something. But I played a set versus Leroy, and it kind of felt, yeah, they definitely aren't gonna kill any character. I agree with that, but definitely felt a lot more manageable. I guess now that I think about it, I think this could have been a lot because of online as well. Because it used to be so fucked up playing versus Leroy online, especially with the orbital, because it was so fast and it has so low whiff recovery. So when the net code was worse and this move was even like when it was faster, I could pretty much never ever punish this on whiff, like never. And dash blocking is so bad, or was so bad. It's much better now, especially if I have a good connection. That like, I don't know, play a lot versus Gons, and it's just like, okay, so Leroy can just do orbital randomly whenever as an anti approach, and you can do nothing about it, because if he whiffed, you couldn't punish it. So I think that change, and also this not reaching as far, have like done wonders for my versus Leroy game. But I agree. I definitely think the character is still strong. So yeah, I mean the character still has hella super good moves. It's gonna feel good though to not eat. Like, how much damage nerf did parry get? I think it's 10 damage less now or something. That's pretty crazy. I think it used to do 40, right? 30 is noticeably less than 40. Like not just having mini Jin parry, you can just hit the button on anything and it does 40 damage. What the fuck is this music? Yeah, 40 damage. Yeah, I thought that was a little bit odd as well. But I guess they want the character to have a super strong parry. I guess. I mean, they gave him a new Sabaki, right? So they want him to have all these. What is this? Yeah. What is it? Is it up back up for one, something like that? Is that the new move? Yeah, up back two. How the fuck did I get up forward two? I think it's -10. Yeah. So I mean that's death for Akuma. Please do this. But yeah. I mean I guess I really don't care too much about how strong the characters in Tekken 7 are. I kind of stopped caring about that. This like the game's been pretty crazy for a while now, so at least the changes they did to Leroy. I'm not super familiar with what changed with Fakum yet, but at least the Leroy changes feel like they're gonna make it more fun to play versus the character, so I think I'm okay with that. Still haven't played versus Ling yet. I think that's gonna be interesting. I mean, that's up to you, huh? I wonder. I don't think they changed too much about the balance of the character, but to me, they at least seem like they will make the character a little bit more fun. I wonder if I can use that as a punish. She can't parry that. Oh, she can parry that. Yeah, where is her? That would be pretty sick. I guess you really want to low parry this, right? While standing 3 to DP? I guess I could, but can't she? It's 13, so can't she turn around to block that? No. Can she do this move? I always forget how fast the Sabaki on this shit is. Oh, she can't. Maybe that doesn't work versus Neith. I never have to do anything specific versus Ling as Akuma, so I never look it up in terms of back turn punishes. So I guess I can do while standing 3. That's pretty good. I mean, they nerfed the damage on this, but still, that's good. I wonder if you could do something that OS's. If you get a. No, I don't think you can OS a launch out of it. Because it doesn't combo into. Did I not start that? What? Didn't I record it? Why isn't you doing anything? What the fuck? Don't be working, huh? What? What the fuck? Was I late? I guess I was late. There we go. That's with back. Not with down back. But I was just late with the punish. That's good. That means you can do... I guess you should do this dumb shit. Because it does a trillion billion damage. can just hold back. Yeah, she can't hold forward. She walks forward when holding forward. So she can't do something like if Ling does 443 like this shit, where you have to hold forward to escape. She can't do that. But she can hold back. What is it? This shit, right? That you have to hold forward for. That kind of stuff. But as Akuma, you don't really do a lot of specific back turn punishes versus Ling. I guess versus root kick, you do like this. If you have the bar. Otherwise, I think your best bet is to do this. Which is still pretty good, but it's not a launch or anything. It's not Geese who can do 1, 2, 3 and launcher on the back. I guess it's nice to have something that always works. And you can also do this if you feel like they won't parry, you can do something like that. But I could see this matchup being, I already think it's a matchup he kind of loses a bit. I'm not sure if everyone in the world agrees with me, but that's my opinion, right? Because you can do a lot of fucked up stuff versus Akuma. I guess he can do some fucked up stuff as well. Like he can escape some setups and stuff like that because of teleport, especially back turn teleport, which is faster invo. But she can also do stuff like this, where she can go under the fireball on a cancel. So if Akuma, I think if Akuma guards, he can technically always be safe. But you're an Akuma player, right? Why would you have a guard? And she can also, of course, she can just like hop kick there as well from AOP. Because I think it's because of full crouch AOP being stronger than regular ass AOP. That was interesting. It's like she got hit by the fireball late there. I wonder if he's plus like 1,000,000 there. If I can get it to actually work. Minus 30. Damn, that's a lot. Too bad Akuma doesn't have like a really slow move. No, I think the fastest jump in is slower than that. At least anything you want that's like supposed to give you a return or anything. But it's this, like, it can be super good versus like if Akuma is doing stuff like this as his like keep out moves, because I think it's very, if I remember correctly, it's very consistent versus down 2 specifically. But then I have to like do it. So that's nice. Not that this is like the only thing she has going. If she just blocks it, of course she can just do standing 3, which is also pretty nice. I think it only works with crouch AOP, which is why it's really good versus down 3. Which is why it also, yeah, because it doesn't work versus this, because standing 2 force stands on block, so she can't do it here. Even if there's like the fireball doesn't like hit at super close range. I think she can do it versus this though, which is also pretty nice. Damn, that's a punish? That's pretty crazy. Can she use normally OP versus down to fireball? I'm not sure. Probably not, right? I'm not sure if I... Okay, she can. Okay, so versus down 2, I guess because it has worse frames, she can just do normally OP. That's nice. The thing that's nice about AOP as well is that, like Steve, for an example, he can do sway too, right? But then Akuma can do something like this. He can hold it, hold the focus. That's pretty iffy because then that can happen, right? But AOP in a lot of situations, like if she doesn't mash out of it, like it's not like you're in any risk of getting hit in the same way that Steve is. Like Steve's option, like he has to do sway too, otherwise I don't think it works. If I might be wrong in this, but I think he has to do, because sway 2 steps more, right? Or am I making that up? I feel like he has to commit to hitting. Or I might be wrong in this. We can call the charge box. Do. I feel like you had to do. Oh, is it 4 you want to do? Okay, so you can just do that. I didn't know that. I thought he had to commit to hitting. That's really good then. I guess a lot of people just see this thing because I only see Steve people do that. And then obviously I see that happen like twice and then they die because they hit into a focus. What the fuck? That's a wall bounce? I didn't know that. That's fucked up. Learn something new every day. So that's really good. Probably even better now, right? Because it's less. I mean, it's still a lot of damage, but I think it's noticeably less, especially meterless, to hit into a focus attack, even if you're just committing to this and aren't doing like doing some duck shit. One thing I think is so weird that they didn't change. Akuma's 4-3 is 14 frame punish. This move has had like, I don't know if I want to call it a glitch, but like a feature of the move that has been around since season 1 is that, so the move is 14 frames. Is this 14 minus 14? Maybe it's minus 14 crouch. No, it's minus 14. So, like, what? Ah, okay, that's a punish. 14 frame. It's pretty long range, 14 frame punish. But if you hit, like, if you block specific moves with a lot of pushback in like certain situations, you end up not, if you hit, like, look at this shit, right? If I do 4, that's a punish. Minus 14, I hit 4, that's a punish. But if I commit to a 4-3, it becomes 15 frames at that range. It hits a frame later. So he can't use it as a punish. For, it's like Jack down for 2, this move. It's some Raven shit as well. Raven has some string where she can end up, she's minus 14, but she can end up teleporting as well. And Akuma can do He can do 4 to OS, and it will float her coming down and punish the -14. But if he does 4-3, then it doesn't even hit because it hits a frame later. Versus the teleport. Yeah. Yeah, Akuma, basically every single string Akuma has different properties if you commit to it. Like his while standing 4 is smaller than his while standing, the first while standing 4 in while standing 4-4. Like, I don't know if I can show this, but like, usually maybe I should pick Safina, but like, no, it's the other way around. While standing 4-4, oh fuck, I did this the wrong way. While standing 4-4 is smaller than while standing 4, which I guess is good because the opposite is generally worse. So it does matter in some situations. Like, I think the scissors, right? This move. Like, you can float it while standing. Oh, well, not always, obviously, but you can float it. But if I mash while standing 4-4, it doesn't work. So no cool wall or well floor break combo for you. Well, you can actually delay it and then get it, which is interesting. Because this move isn't delayable. You can't delay while standing 4-4, but it's like you can like trick the game that you didn't do it. Yeah, cat down for 2 is like the famous example, right? But the same, like every follow-up, like Akuma's down for 1-1 and down for 1-2 have much better tracking than down for 1. 1-1 makes the first jab way better tracking than just 1. Down for 2-4, great tracking to one direction. Down for 2, or well, good tracking. Down for 2, not so much. Yada yada yada. Basically every single move he has. Or well, every single string he has, I should say. Which is kind of odd. It ends up, I think, generally working in Akuma's favor, though. So I guess that's good for him. The negative ones are, well, obviously this thing and the 4-3 thing with it being I-15 at long range. But him getting better tracking on stuff is not really something you can complain about, I think. Unless he's always supposed to have that better tracking, but I don't think that's the case. But it is a bit hard to wrap your head around. I'm not sure I have that much more to say about Season 4 Akuma for now. I just kind of wanted to rant a bit. I'm gonna release a new video today in about, I don't know, right now, basically. So if you're a person that watches the YouTube, you're gonna get a new video to watch. And if you're a person that doesn't watch my YouTube, now you have a really good reason to go check out my YouTube in a little bit, because I'm releasing a new edited project. English. And I'm trying to get a guest to do the game show again on Wednesday. So I actually have something interesting and or fun to stream. And then I want to do, after I had 3 contestants, I want to do like a Jeopardy style 3 contestants at the same time finals for it. But like they can pick, like just like in Jeopardy. Imagine Jeopardy, but it's me instead of the guy that is dead now. So I guess it wouldn't be him, but rest in peace. So I guess cheers for watching, and if you were interested at all in how I felt about Season 4 Akuma, here it is. You don't have to ask me anymore. Unless you missed it, in which case you don't have to ask me when I put it up on the archive channel. Thanks for watching.